What's up, guys? It's Quincy with Coin Club Crypto. Welcome to my channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And guess what? Guess who's speaking at Ripple Apex? Woo! I mean, I kind of figured anyway, but I'm just beyond psyched. This is freaking awesome. I've never actually really spoken anywhere other than I don't know, a high school gym, but I mean, I guess YouTube, so boom. But basically, what does this mean? Well, this whole video is kind of just going to be a little, let's just say it's a little intro to what I'm going to have to say at, well, the conference. Well, I'm super psyched, that's for one. I never thought I'd ever be, speaking at a Ripple conference. That's just whoa, what? What? It definitely blows my mind. But one of the big things that I want to talk about and really hammer in home, especially since I'm going to sort of have a mainstream platform now, it's going to be kind of crazy. I want to really be able to talk about what you can do with smart contracts, what you can do with NFTs in smart contract ecosystems, and where does that place in regards to currencies and value tokens to be able to buy and sell things within these ecosystems. See, what's going to happen is, and this is sort of just a little intro, a little taste of what we're going to get. But what's going to happen is you're going to have these three little, I don't know what to put them. They're kind of whatever that thing that Ripple has, those, you got these three of them, right? And you got NFTs, you got the currencies, and you got the smart contracts. Well, the currencies are essentially going to keep, liquidity in the market for people to exchange value. The NFTs are going to be representations of a ton of objects, and these objects can be anything. And then the smart contracts are going to be a series of automations that use their own native token for payments, or for payments for those automations. There will be one set of tokens for automations and one set of tokens for cross ecosystem payments. And I think it's going to be huge. Now, one thing that I think is going to be really cool about it is it's going to look a lot how kind of a lot of internet companies look today, except it's going to run on decentralized ledgers. So let's take, for example, Amazon, right? Amazon would be a perfect example for something like this. So let's say someone wanted to create, let's call it a decentralized Amazon, and they wanted to do it with a collection of smart contracts, right? Well, you need people to be able to pay for things, but you also need certain automation so it can actually go out and be shipped, whatever goes into the actual logistics. You have a whole bunch of automations for that. So let's say you have this decentralized marketplace. Well, what you can do is you can create NFTs of all the items, and you can actually use those as proof for actually buying and selling things. You can use a series of smart contracts to create the overall ecosystem in which those tokens can reside in, be paid for, and do a bunch of other automations on top of being shipped out into logistics. And then you have your currency tokens that can be used for payments. And that's the thing, they're all going to be these little cogs that are all working together because, well, that's just how the internet's going to work. And it's going to work on a decentralized manner, so it's going to be significantly more efficient and actually quite a bit safer than what we have today. And I'm so beyond psyched about it. Yeah, I honestly don't even know what I'm going to say. I've got just so many ideas, just so many thoughts just roaming through my head. My brain's just exploding right now, But I'm super excited and I can't freaking wait. And see, here's the thing. I have you guys to thank, literally. I could not have done this. I would have just been some nutcase talking to himself or talking to his friends about some tech I was into if it wasn't for you guys. So I've got to actually just totally give you one there because, yeah, this is by far probably one of the coolest things that I'm going to get to experience. And I'm so just grateful for it. It's just crazy. I never thought this would happen. I never thought in a million years this would happen. I thought maybe I could go to one of those conferences and network. I never thought I'd be speaking at one, but oh my God. Oh, I'm just on a whole nother world. But yeah, my biggest thing, and I really want to hammer this home when it comes to people and their understanding of, well, NFTs, smart contract ecosystems, and payments. A lot of people seem to be focused in crypto on just payments. Some people tend to move over a little bit into smart contracts. Some people look at NFTs, but it seems like people seem to look at these as very limited. A lot of people who look at currencies typically look at them as payment methods as opposed to as a medium of exchange for other types of assets. And that could be a huge thing because now you can essentially have high levels of liquidity in other assets because you're able to have assets issued under these blockchains. It's really, really cool. And that's something that these currency tokens can do that people don't talk about. And something with the NFTs, a lot of people get hooked up on art, but anything that can essentially run through a hashing algorithm can really become an NFT. It's just a representation of an object on a blockchain. So what you can end up doing is you can create an NFT of anything and use smart contracts to essentially regulate an ecosystem for them, like you would have an automated Amazon or a decentralized Amazon. And then finally, we have smart contracts. Now, smart contracts are probably like the thing I think are the coolest because it's going to bring a whole new world of decentralized automation that's really going to scale up things fast. I think that's the biggest thing because scaling takes a lot of work. And with a lot of these decentralized networks, you're actually able to scale pretty decently quickly based off of how these networks are sort of positioned. So I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to see this huge exodus from traditional, not really traditional server structures, but when it comes to certain performance, I guess you could say certain facets about performance in the technology, you are going to see the biggest exodus of all time going into smart contracts and decentralized networks. And the reason for that is they're so much faster, they're so much more efficient, they're so much safer, they're hard to compromise. And that's the thing, it's not quite a one and done set, but traditional architectures, you got to monitor those things all day, every day. And don't get me wrong, there are ways to automate those too, but the big thing about it is these networks scale and they get to scale almost automatically. It's awesome. But yeah, Ripple Apex conference. And that's the thing, I'm going to the one in Las Vegas. I don't really know how what's gonna happen. I kind of hope I see some of you guys there because I think that'd just be kind of cool. But I'm just happy to be able to go to a place full of people that want to talk about the technology the way I want to talk about the technology. I get there's tons of people that want to talk about prices and want to talk about partnerships, but at the core, I fundamentally love these certain aspects of these technologies and what they can do. I think they're going to change the world in such a manner that what we see 5 to 10 years from now is going to look so dynamically different than what we've seen 5 to 10 years before now. And it's going to be a wild ride. And I think it's going to be one of those things too, where at first it seems a little obscure, but just like you saw the .com run, everybody's got a website, and just like you saw on the app run, remember in 2010, there was kind of the joke, there's an app for that. Same thing's going to happen with smart contracts. And I think the big thing that's going to happen with smart contracts is being able to build layers upon layers upon layers upon layers on these automated systems with decentralized autonomous organizations and on top of private organizations being able to just expand upon each other. It's going to create a whole new world of economics prosperity through automation. And that's people get freaked out about this, but you got to remember, all you're doing is you're simplifying a process. So it's not that it's this crazy thing that's going to run over everything. No, it means that there's 5 steps, there's going to be 2. If there's 2 steps, there's going to be 1. It really just simplifies things, which means people can spend more time focusing on other things. I don't need to spend time doing something that is just a mundane task that just happens over and over again. I can set automations for that, and I don't have to worry about scaling them because they run on decentralized networks. It's really, really cool. But I guess that's just smart contracts as a whole. But the biggest thing that I want to be able to talk about and really hammer in, really hit hard to home on the bash, how about this? People talk a lot about the internet of value, but they don't talk about what's in the internet of value. They kind of just assume that it's just a bunch of currency. Well, it's going to be every single thing that can be exchanged for something else is going to be all part of the internet of value. So you're going to have currencies, you're going to have smart contracts, you're going to have equities, you're going to have NFTs, you're going to have just items that exist to some degree. And this thing, it can be something simple, like a representation of ownership for a purse or something. It sounds silly. That's the thing that you can basically put in automations. You can use stuff like that to prove ownership for things. And that can be really interesting, especially when it comes to let's look at something like your car. Wouldn't it be really interesting if your license plate tag was just an NFT and then they're able to scan it while you're driving and everything you got to go is just right there? It's all on the blockchain. They don't need to pull you over. They don't need to do any of that unless obviously you've got whatever. But that's the thing. What if they don't even need to get your ID because they were able to scan your NFT and confirm your identity before they even got out of the car? Or they were able to scan the NFT and see all the different responsible let's say maintainers of that car before they even get out. So they can go, oh, you're who? And if you're not, they can go, well, whatever. And I think there's so many things that can be done when it comes to these things, but I don't think anyone's talking about them. So I'm gonna see if I can bring it up and maybe we can set some trends. I think we can. But I'll see you on the next one. I love these videos. I'm still in Cali for a little bit And I hope to see you guys. Like, I am just beyond like honored to be in the position I am in. Well, it's all because of you. So see you on the next one.